Welcome to another installment of Communicast, and with me now is Jay Garee, the executive at the Webster chapter, is it, of the Boy Scouts here in Greater Manchester. Welcome.
Yes, yeah, appreciate it, Keith. Thank you very much for inviting me to participate.
You guys are doing such incredible things these days, and we got a press release about how the Boy Scouts, with the motto "Always Be Prepared," are taking an active role here in New Hampshire with hospitals and with first-line responders and the needs that are there. So I really wanted to just take a couple of minutes and give you a chance to share with the audience what you're doing, why it's important, and we certainly know the first-line responders are the beneficiaries.
Certainly. Well, we're grateful to have this collaboration with the New Hampshire Hospital Association. We recognize that the 31 hospitals we have across the state are really in dire need of a whole bunch of resources. People hear a lot about the PPE and certainly the masks and the safety mechanisms that care providers need, but they often don't hear about the things that quite frankly really would boost the morale of the personnel. And you'll have to forgive me with fighting a little bit of a raspy voice here myself, but for a couple weeks. But we're really excited about the providing resources to the care providers that really would boost their morale in the environment they're working in, particularly providing simple things like mints, gum, thank you notes, snacks, water, those types of things. We also want to help with the PPE and maybe make some homemade masks, but we're really excited about just saying thank you.
I think that's so important. You talk about PPE, which is personal protective equipment, and there have been such shortfalls as people have gotten nervous with what's going on. There's that fear that seems to be pervasive. Gee, your hoarse voice or you cough and everybody stares at you now. And it's a difficult time, but yet what you've just said, basic things like mints, candies, thank you notes, it's amazing, to really know that, and that's something all of us have available in our house. We haven't hoarded it. Do they need toilet paper? Probably not.
They didn't mention that on the list.
Right,
no,
and because, this is not a gastrointestinal disease. It's not a run, we're not using more toilet paper, so I think those people have reached a level that it's several years' supply. But basic things like candies, pre-wrapped, how do you deliver these things to the hospitals, and how is this?
So we're working with each hospital individually to be sensitive to their protocols. So yes. Our office is actually coordinating, or will be coordinating, the drop-offs. Our scouts, we serve about just over 8,500 scouts a year, along with thousands of parents. We have over 3,000 adult volunteers. So really what we wanted to do is we wanted to rally our resources in mass at the thousands. Scouts really prescribe to do good for others. I mean, that's one of the character values that our scouts are learning about: how to be good citizens, how to give back to the community, how to put service above self, and give to others more than you necessarily focusing on yourself. And so what we're hoping to do is have a scout and a parent or a couple of leaders present these packages using proper social distancing when they deliver the items to the hospital, and we'll be coordinating with the hospital to achieve that.
It's a wonderful thing. I can't tell you the number of times I've interfaced with or come across benefits because of what the Boy Scout troops and Eagle Scouts have done. Go out on a hiking trail and you can see something that's been put together. Informational maps, setting up kiosks, benches. There are so many different ways, and I've had the pleasure of being at the Eagle. So I myself didn't get beyond Cub Scout, something that didn't work out for me. But as an adult, I've come back to it, very respectful of the people that I've seen, the programs I've been in. My wife has taught at Central High School. And so we've had the privilege of being at Eagle Scout ceremonies at your group, down at Daniel Webster, I forget that part wrong, but it's the Daniel Webster.
You got it. It's the Daniel Webster Council.
Thank you.
Boy Scouts. We cover the entire state of New Hampshire.
Right.
And and the goal here obviously was, you know, our scouts are doing scouting at home like everybody else right now. We're all having to isolate. You know, so we worked with the New Hampshire Hospital Association to say, how can we mobilize the resources we have at home to still do the kinds of things that scouting, you know, does? And so part of the advancement that scouts have to achieve is to actually do service. They have to do so many hours of service. So how do we keep our scouts engaged in giving back to the community and giving back to others? And this is a great way for them to do that, because as they're working with their neighbors or as they're working with their fellow scouts, they can set up drop-offs at their home just outside their house on the front porch, have people drop items off. They can clean them, collect them, gather them, box them, and then get them to the hospitals.
They learn such responsibility, and it's really in action in the field as needed right now. And what an incredible learning opportunity, not only for the scouts, but the rest of us who they call upon and ask, our neighbors. We have put things out for them in the past when there were collections. So from a standpoint of community members, how do we help you? 8,500 is an incredible number of young people that can be mobilized and taking part, and as opposed to sitting around listening to bad news all the time and number statistics. It's far better to hear how we can help and what we can do as next steps. Are there ways to reach out or find out more information? What would help you guys?
For sure. They can actually go to our website, nhscouting.org.
Okay.
And there's information right there on who to contact. And we would appeal to the whole community. If somebody wants to donate some non-perishable snacks, prepackaged goods like, you know, bottled water, soda, Gatorade, or even just write thank you notes, we can coordinate the deliveries of those items to the hospital in a fashion that's not going to keep them distracted from serving their primary care. And
I'll put that in at the end of this script anyway. When we put this up online, I'll have the actual live links. But thank you, Jay, very much for joining us and for what the Scouts are doing. It's an incredible task and very much appreciated.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate the time.